This follows the decision of the jury in the case to return a not guilty verdict of 4-3 in both the murder and conspiracy to commit murder charges against Gregory Afoko. The jury, however, returned a unanimous guilty verdict in the charge of conspiracy to commit murder against the second accused person, Asake Alangdi. The jury, however, returned a not guilty verdict of 4-3 in the murder charge faced by the second accused person. The two have been standing trial for the murder of the late NPP chairman Adams Mahama, who was killed in 2015. Gregory Afoko was arrested in 2015, days after media reports confirmed that some unknown persons had poured acid on the then NPP Upper East Regional Chairman. Gregory Afoko was on trial since 2015 until 2019, when the state filed a nolle prosequi in the matter. Meanwhile, the second accused person, Asake Alangdi, who was on the run, was arrested in 2019. Following the arrest of the second accused person, the state in 2019 charged the two for counts of conspiracy to commit murder and murder. In the over 3 years of the new trial, the state called 16 witnesses to prove its case. The first accused person, Gregory Afoko, on his part, called 2 witnesses, while the second accused person did not call any witness. The case against Gregory Afoko and Asake Alangdi is that the deceased, before his death, informed several persons at the crime scene, on the way to the hospital and in the hospital, that the 2 accused persons were responsible for his injuries, which later led to the death. Prosecution presented witnesses who testified in court that the deceased truly revealed the persons who committed the offense to them. Prosecution also presented a track suit belonging to Gregory Afoko, which an expert witness testified that it had traces of acid which was in the gallon retrieved from the crime scene. One of prosecution's witnesses also testified that Gregory Afoko had earlier told him that he was going to show the deceased. The case against Asake Alangdi, on the other hand, was that he was with Gregory Afoko between the period the two were suspected to have committed a crime, according to prosecution witnesses. One of prosecution witnesses testified that the two were at a pub called Lovers Inn hours before the incident and left together at 10 p.m. The state, based on these, was confident that it had proved its case beyond reasonable doubt. The ingredients that the state was required to prove, according to the judge, included that the deceased was indeed dead, that the death was caused by harm, and the harm was unlawful, that the harm was caused by the accused persons, and that the harm was intentional. Prosecution's case was that the circumstantial evidence linking the accused persons to the incident and how the harm was caused was enough to prove its case. The 2 accused persons in their defense, however, denied the claims made by prosecution. The jury, after considering these arguments following the summing up made by the judge, came up with their verdict after 40 minutes of deliberation. The 7-member jury, by a 4-3 verdict, decided that Gregory Afoko was not guilty for the charges of murder and conspiracy to commit murder. The judge, after reading this verdict, stated that there is a hung jury and there will be retrial for A1, that's Gregory Afoko, on both counts. The jury, however, returned a 4-3 verdict of not guilty for Asake Alangdi with respect to the murder. The second accused was not happy with the verdict and prayed to the court by saying, "My lord, I haven't done anything and I'm pleading with the court." His lawyers joined in saying, "My lord should consider the accused as a first-time offender and also the circumstances surrounding this trial. My lady will see that the accused person was charged for 2 offenses. Just like the first accused, the members of the jury were undecided on the charge, which arguably is the more serious of the 2 offenses. This decision is in no doubt subject to several interpretations and consequences and decisions after Thursday's sitting. In mitigation, therefore, we respectfully pray this court to temper justice with mercy to come up with a decision that is favorable to all. This is definitely not the last time we will hear about this case. State Prosecutor Apia Opare, however, reminded the court that it is very clear from Section 24 of Act 29 that the punishment for conspiracy to commit an offence is the same punishment that is meted out to the substantive offence. And in this case, the substantive offence is murder, and the punishment for murder is death. So the punishment for conspiracy to commit murder is death. That is what the statute says. The hands of this court are tied. There are no lesser punishments. Justice Efua Wood, who agreed with this argument of the state, sentenced the accused to death by hanging, saying, "The men and women you selected to try you have found you guilty. You are hereby sentenced to death by hanging. May God have mercy on your soul."